In this video, I'm going to try to keep it very short because this is a distillation of my dissertation research where I took all the ideas and concepts out there about student leadership and specifically about building capacity for student leadership in your school or district and turned it into a survey. And so it's statistically validated, it is measurable. This is what I'm going to share with you, and let's go through it now.
The description is going to take you to a folder for the survey. There's a PDF version here, and then you're going to want to right click on the Google Form option and make a copy. This way you can make it your own. So let me show you what it looks like. When you're in here, you have the intro section. Again, personalize that to your own community, but it really sets the stage for why this is important, why students should care about it, what we're going to be talking about. It defines some things. So content-wise, there's 3 kind of sections of the survey. One is about learning leadership skills. How do we teach students the skills of learning leadership, and how do students perceive that we are doing that as a school community? Then we have student involvement in making decisions at school, and specifically it asks a lot about student-teacher teams, how much are students a part of student-teacher teams and that decision-making process, and finally, the school structures or processes that build student leadership capacity. It tells you it's about 7 minutes, and of course, there's consent question here. So students can opt out and say, no, I don't want to do this, that's the end. Or they can say, yes, I want to be heard. So each section is broken down as follows. There's kind of what the section is about. There's a little definition here. And then we have a disagreement to agreement scale. So it is a 6-point scale. So there is no middle of the road choice. They have to kind of land on the side of disagree or agree. You, of course, can rework this. Just know that the way that it is currently formatted is the way that it was validated statistically in the survey. So you can edit. To edit, you would click here, and then you could change here the columns or the rows. You could also change this instead of a multiple choice grid where each question or statement has the same answer choice. You could change this and add a question that was multiple choice. So each statement or question had different, maybe personalized options. And I have talked more about this in a previous podcast episode that I can link in the description as well. There's also, very importantly, an open-ended response option at the end of each section as well. So this is where students can elaborate, they can say more. This is absolutely gold. Don't take this off. It is optional, and I think that's intentionally done, right? It's important to be able to say, you don't have to do this. If making you put an open-ended answer is going to force you to not respond at all and just cancel and not submit the rest of the survey, we don't want that, but we do want to give you the option to express your thoughts, and there's so much goodness here. The next section is working with others in the school. So again, thinking about teachers and students working together. And then we have the school's culture, structures, and ways of communicating. This is really long. This is actually the crux of the survey. So are several pages, or 2 pages, I should say, because there are several on each page. And then there, again, is the open-ended question at the end of the second page. Lastly, we have the demographics section. And sometimes surveys do this at the front end. I don't like that. And my dissertation advisors did not like that, because that can kind of be a turnoff. It's kind of boring, right? To just answer questions about yourself. You want to get to the meat first. And then if they kind of like stop working on the survey or submit it early or whatever, you have the content. You might not be able to aggregate the response based on their demographic pieces, but you have the content. So all of these, as you'll see, are optional. They are not required. So if it feels like it would be identifying to a student, they do not have to answer. And if you know your school community and a certain question is going to be identifying because there are only certain very small numbers of students that are going to answer a certain choice, take that question out. That's fine. So you'll see there are a variety of things. And then that way you can categorize. So for example, this question, are you frequently participating in leadership opportunities? If yes, your answers are going to be viewed through a certain light versus a student who doesn't participate currently in any leadership opportunities. How do they perceive, what's going on in your school and all of the structures? So these are really important to be able to, when you're looking at the data at the end, say, okay, well, what was the student response based on, how they identify and what groups they belong to.
Speaking of where do you go next, I think it's great to follow up a survey with kind of a message to students saying, this is what we learned from you, here's what we're doing as a result of what you said, so they see there's an actual impact. Then the next time you survey them or ask for their feedback, for example, in a focus group to follow up with students who might want to share more details with you or help you plan those action steps and implement them, they're going to have more buy-in because they're going to see you're taking their ideas seriously. I cannot wait to hear what data you come up with, what trends, what ideas students see in the survey. I think this is a great way to prompt them thinking about this. Maybe they haven't thought about it that much or didn't know that there was a space for them to talk about this kind of stuff. I am fascinated by all things student leadership. So let me know in the comments, reach out directly. I can't wait to hear from you and to see what amazing stuff comes out of this. Students are brilliant. So the more we listen to them, the better our schools will be.
If you love this video, you're going to absolutely love my curriculum bootcamp. In just 2 days, we have a live experience that helps your department create feminist, anti-racist curricula that challenges, affirms, and inspires all students. We also have a self-paced course option for teachers or departments who want to go at this at their own pace. Check it out. I'll link to it in the notes below.